going on, guys? My name is Ben and how are you guys doing today? What I have for you today in this video is I want to talk to you guys about Steve Wozniak's response or his opinion about this whole case between Apple and the FBI. Now, you guys have missed out on what's going on. Basically, there were a couple criminals out there and they had iPhones with very important information that the FBI was interested in, but apparently it had an iCloud password, so therefore the FBI was requesting Apple to create what Apple sees as a backdoor to unlock these iPhones. That way the FBI can get into it, and basically Apple said no, because then it's like they're going to end up having to do this for every single phone out there in the future. Whereas the FBI is stating no, that's not the case. It's just going to be just for this particular iPhone, and that's it. Now, Steve Wozniak has something to say about this, and this is from an article that I read, which the link will be in the description below. Basically, he saw this as the lamest case ever that the FBI is trying to pursue, because it's like, and the way he was speaking, and there was actually a video in the article too, so definitely give that a watch as well. But basically, he was stating that he sees this as a dangerous act to create a backdoor just to unlock a phone, because it's like he thinks this as a virus, pretty much, where like you created a virus, but you're just doing it for testing purposes, and you don't want it out there. Whereas compared to hackers who do it on purpose to get into people's information, the way he was speaking is he was speaking from a hacker's point of view on why they would do such a thing, why they would do it on purpose, and it seemed like to me when he did this back then, it was just all for testing pretty much. And he was scared of the software he created himself. It's like he was saying he deleted it before it gets out there, because you don't want malicious software being pushed out there on the whole network for people to get infected. Otherwise, personal information is going to get stolen, like credit card information, emails, accounts, passwords, logon information. You don't want any of that stuff getting stolen. And the biggest place for this stuff to be exposed to hackers is through the internet right now. That's why, when you're creating accounts for certain websites, they're always saying, okay, you need to have this many characters for passwords, that you need to have these kinds of characters in there, that your password can only be this length, that length. Okay, you have to make your password shorter, you have to make your password longer. So it's like internet security is a big concern right now. That's why, like, you don't want malicious software being put out there on the network. And Steve Wozniak saw the FBI's request as something very minimal, and it's like he sees it as the most I guess unintelligent way on trying to gather information. He even feels like there's probably nothing on it that's even worth looking at. I don't know. Point being is like, as we start digging into this topic more, I made a video about this a couple weeks ago, and now like this is being more elaborated after hearing what Steve Wozniak had to say. It's like, is the FBI really gaining any benefits for this case if they were to get Apple to create a backdoor? Either way, it's like, I guess it's not even worth trying, because encryption is very important to Apple. After what I've seen so far, they try to make iOS devices as the most secured as possible. They try to make it very secured that way, because pretty much everybody's walking around with these devices, and they have everything stored on here. They have their passwords, they have their emails, they have their phone numbers, contacts, bank account information. And now with Apple Pay, you got credit card information stored on there, and then what happens if your phone gets stolen? And you don't have the iCloud password or the Find My iPhone enabled on there. That's it. Your stuff is exposed. Unless if it did get stolen and you have Find My iPhone on it, and if somebody were to restore it, they can't use the phone anyway without your Apple ID login credentials. Therefore, the device would be useless. So it's like, what's the point of people stealing these devices if you can't even use them if they had Find My iPhone enabled with a specific Apple ID? The FBI is asking Apple to create a backdoor to break that lock. And Apple is saying no. In my opinion, I think Apple is right about this, and I agree with what Steve Wozniak has to say in terms of malicious software. You don't want it to be out there on the network. And if a hacker is trying to do that, eventually they're going to get caught in a way. And after I think about it, it's like, this case is just not necessary to me. Because, like, if there is very important information on there that the FBI needs for their investigation, it's like, why don't they just try to convince the criminals to try and make them admit to what's going on? Then again, I don't know if these guys were executed or not. I'm not 100% sure. I don't even know where this case come from. I don't even know what happened to them. If they got arrested or if they committed some sort of suicide. I don't know. I should have probably found out about that before I even started looking up this case. All I heard was like, as soon as I heard the FBI was requesting Apple to create a backdoor to go against their own security policy, it's like, what's going on? That's it. So I don't actually know the whole story behind on how this whole thing even got started. All I know is that there was a situation, it involved a criminal, and now the FBI was interested in what was stored on that criminal's iPhone because that's what they had with them. So it's like, either way, I don't think the FBI is going to be able to gain anything either way, and Apple is trying to prove to the FBI this is going against some of the government's policies either, or as well. And then Steve Wozniak is saying this isn't even worth fighting for. Everyone should just move on. And he's talking from his own experience, and I give him props for saying that, especially to the whole public. And I give Apple and Tim Cook props for rejecting a government request. And how long is this fight going to go for? I have no idea. And what's the result? I'm curious to see that myself, if Apple is going to get penalized, or if the FBI is going to make some changes in terms of how they view things. I'm not 100% sure where things are going to go. So what do you guys think? I'd like to see what you guys say in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. Also check out the description below for my social media links. I got Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.